Hello, my name is Michelle Kimball, and I'm a bilingual trainer with Istation. And before I was a trainer with Istation, I was a bilingual kindergarten teacher and a pre-K coach here in the Dallas area. And welcome to my home. Thank you for being part of the Red Cape Nation. And today I'd like to talk about how you as a parent at home can develop children's vocabulary and work on some early literacy skills such as rhyming and syllabication right there in your home. And I know already you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not a teacher. I'm going to have to sit my child down at the table and work with them for a half an hour. I don't know what I'm doing. I've got so many other things on my plate. I'm going to work. I'm taking care of other kids. And I just want you to know as I move through today's session, I want to just remind you that this should be fun and playful and very natural. It does not need to be something where you sit down and have to have something academic planned. I'm going to start off today with an Istation book, but again, you can do this with anything with any age child. Keep that in mind as well. If you have access to Istation books, your child can log into the app and use the books portion of the app, and then they can pull up a book that they've been exposed to in their individual path of instruction. Or you as the parent, if you're familiar with the parent portal, you can go into the parent portal and pull up a book. And it doesn't matter if you have a printer or not. You can scroll through the book with your child because the pages are in order. So it doesn't matter if you print out the book or not. But I do happen to have one of our Istation early literacy books printed out. And the first thing I want you to do and how you can develop vocabulary with your child is review what you see in the picture or any objects that you see. In this case, a cat, a cloud, I see a curtain, I see a chair, a calendar, I see a pizza, I see a plate, a spoon, a fork and a knife, a placemat, just the general objects that you see so that you are sure that you have a common understanding of what you're seeing in the picture with your child. And also, as you're doing this, come up with alternative words for some of the objects that you see in there. For example, I see a cat. Maybe you introduce the word feline. That's another word. Did you know that feline was another word for a cat? And then you can go into rhyming a particular word, such as pizza, wizza. Did you notice that? I used a nonsense word. Because if you think about it, any new word that we come across as adults and any new words that a child comes across, that's a nonsense word to begin with. So nonsense words are acceptable when children are developing vocabulary and early literacy skills. The next thing is you might decide to try out rhyming with your kids to see where they stand with that. Or I'm sorry, not rhyming, syllabication. So clapping the word pizza, pizza. They can stomp it, they can snap it, they can whisper it, change their voices. But know that when you're doing rhyming with your kids, syllabication with your kids, that 2 and 3 syllables are easier for your kids and that 1 syllable words are more difficult. So if they've got the 2 and 3 syllables down, go ahead and bump it up to 1 syllable words. And again, you can do this with any age child in elementary school. I've seen children in 4th and 5th grade who struggle with this skill, and it turns out they're struggling in reading as well. So this is very important to not just do if your child is as young as 2, 3, and 4 years old, but 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders can benefit from this activity as well. I'd be curious to see if you wanted to bump it up and do 1 syllable words, if they could do that. The other thing is that if you don't have access to Istation books at home, is any old magazine, a picture in there. This is one that I pulled out. Again, going over first the objects and vocabulary that you see in there. Also creating other words, coming up with other words for objects that you see in there, and then just rhyming them. or clapping some of the objects that you see in this book. You can also use family pictures that you have on your phone, or any pictures that you have. You can do this at the grocery store. You can do this when you're folding laundry or when you're doing dishes or cooking in the kitchen as well. Just talking about the vocabulary words and the objects that you're seeing, clapping as you're putting socks together, clapping the different names of articles of clothing or the different types of utensils and dishes that you have in the kitchen, and coming up with new words for them as well, such as platter for a dish or a plate. They might be calling a platter a plate. So that you'll discover as you do these things, what they know and what they don't know as you do these things with your child. The last thing I'd like to mention is, again, this is important to do throughout the child's academic career in the early years, as well as they get up into third, fourth, and fifth grade. So it's never too late, and you can always bump it up by using harder words. That said, I want to thank you for joining me today at my home. And just a reminder to go to istation.com and click at the orange banner across the bottom. It'll take you as the parent to a special page that we have created for you at this time to get more information about iStation at home. Thank you for being part of Red Cape Nation, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.